Welcome to the Feminine Mistake Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Nicole, and today I'm joined by
Hillary,
Sarah,
and Jackie.
On today's episode, we continue our discussion of the film I, Tonya, starring Margot Robbie and Allison Janney, so let's get right into it.
The house is a mess, Jack. The kids are a mess, Jack. You're a mess, Jack.
You have been a total bitch ever since you came to New York.
You seem sort of distant.
Let's just do it, man.
You look stupid and rich. Stupid and rich.
Fascist.
All right, let's get into it.
I don't believe that Meryl Streep didn't know about Harvey Weinstein. I don't believe it.
I mean, everyone in Hollywood did.
Yeah.
Like, you can, like, there are so many clips of talk shows and the fucking, like, what was which award show did
the Oscars where
Seth,
they made a joke
Seth
about
MacFarlane?
like, you don't have to work for Harvey Weinstein.
You don't have to sleep with Harvey Weinstein anymore. You have to be
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
Everybody fucking knew about it. Everyone.
And that, like, I feel like Meryl Streep has been, oh, it's so awful, and I feel so badly, and I'm like, I don't
So
buy
like,
it. I don't buy it
so
that she didn't know about it. And
okay.
Did she ever work on one of his films?
I'm sorry?
Did she ever work on one of his films?
She did. Everybody did.
Yeah. And it's like, I feel like she's trying to be out there and like support the women that were affected by it.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of like, I would have more respect for someone that said, you know what, I did know about it and I didn't do anything about it, and shame on me. And
But no one did anything about it.
Well,
Exactly.
Several people
Yeah.
did say that, including Quentin Tarantino, who we'll get to later, and
Yeah.
Kevin Smith said that as well. He's like, I could have done something and I didn't do anything.
Exactly. So it just, I don't know. Like, I do think she's one of the best actresses of our time. I will give her that.
Definitely.
But I've always loved her and I've always respected her.
She's like,
but
I've like Tom
this.
Hanks. I need her not to be.
No.
to
She's not like Tom
respect
Hanks
her.
to me.
No.
And the two of them opposite each other in the post is just phenomenal. Like,
Which I want to see the post. I will
it's
still
really
go see the
good.
post.
I've heard.
The post is really good.
Hillary
Yeah.
tells me there's a best performance by a captain.
oh, best performance by a captain, hands down. She walks like arms sprawled like throughout like half the movie, just in this beautiful white caftan, and like, oh man, is it glorious?
I love it.
I just want it. I want it for my own home. So many caftans. I wish I was in my captain right now, you guys.
I'm not in my captain, but I am
But-
wearing one of those like
No, I love that. It's beautiful.
flowy.
I came from
Almost
brunch, so I have to wear
caftans.
pants. The world imposing its rules on me.
We should get
wear my
critical.
house
We
dress
should get
everywhere.
critical captains.
Yes.
You should. That would be awesome.
Critical crop captains.
That would be awesome.
What would a cropped captain look like?
I don't want that. I don't want
It'd
to
be like a
Swiss.
Swiss swimsuit cut.
I just want to wear muumuus all the time.
Yes.
I know.
Don't call them muumuus. They're captains. Muumuus is something old ladies wear. Captains is something hot bohemian ladies wear.
Very
Come
true.
on, guys.
Very, very true.
But yeah, I do hope the Oscar for Best Actress goes to either Saoirse Ronan or Sally Hawkins. I think Sally Hawkins did a wonderful job in The Shape of Water.
See, I
Okay.
haven't seen that yet. I need
yeah, I
to.
haven't seen that
I haven't seen any
It
of these
was
films.
great. It was problematic.
I've seen I,
and
Tonya.
that's a whole different podcast.
I've heard that. I've heard some people really like
Yeah.
it or don't like it, but I
and
really want to see it.
I sadly I think Frances McDormand is going to win, and I have.
I adore Frances
I
McDormand.
think she's a
though.
badass.
So
She's
many-
so fucking great.
She's
so
amazing.
Many problems with 3 Billboards, you guys. Like so
Really?
many problems.
Like
with
what?
It shouldn't be nominated for an Oscar. It
Why
shouldn't
do you
be.
go ahead? Tell us.
Okay. Settle in, guys. Settle in. That's so
Let's
many
do it,
thoughts.
and then we'll get back to
All
I,
right.
Tonya after we hear this.
First of all, casting. Woody Harrelson is an old man. He's an old man now. He is no longer
Okay.
a young man.
Okay.
Stop casting him against 31-year-olds. Stop
okay.
it.
Wait. So
Stop
he has
it.
a romantic relationship.
Yes,
with
he's
okay.
married to a very young woman.
Of
very
course.
gorgeous, beautiful young woman, and they have
Yep.
2 young daughters.
Okay.
Okay. The whole premise of the movie, on top of that, is that the police department has not solved this crime, this rape and murder, because they are too busy harassing black people.
Okay.
No black people in this movie.
What?
No black people in it.
Oh
Like,
my god.
what black people? There are no black people in this town. This is a magical world where no black people
So they
exist
just
somehow.
talk about black people, but there are no black people in this
but there
movie.
are no black people in this
Jesus.
movie.
That's lovely.
You know, maybe
So-
they were all busy though.
Maybe they were all
Maybe
too
they were
busy
all busy.
to be out in the
Maybe
town
they didn't
square
want
that
to be
day.
in the film.
Like, not even extras?
Yeah.
They
I'm
were
just kidding.
They were too busy. They were too busy shooting Black Panther.
They were.
Yeah.
They were
They
too
did not
busy
have
shooting
time.
Black Panther to be
There's
in
not
There
the
enough-
aren't enough black actors.
Clearly enough, not enough black actors
in Hollywood
for all the
or Atlanta.
parts.
Black people start signing up to be actors.
Yep.
So that we can finally cast you. in
Because
things.
Right.
apparently
Oh, that's
they
so
could not get any.
It was horrible. And then there were just other things like I love Martin McDonagh. I think he's a fabulous writer. I think The Pillow Man is one of the most beautiful things I've ever read. Like A Beheading in Spokane is a
Yeah,
beautiful
one.
play.
Yeah.
And from someone who is such a prolific writer, I was really disappointed
Okay.
in the ending of the story.
Okay.
Just because it gave me no catharsis. It came out of left field and like it seemed like a
I'm
crowd
not.
pleaser.
Does anybody care if she says the ending? Does anyone? If you do,
Wait, which film is this?
three billboards
outside.
Just go ahead, I don't
Yeah, I mean, tell us.
Well,
Spoilers.
Spoilers.
Dad,
Spoilers.
turn this off.
Spoilers. Sarah's
But-
dad, turn this off.
Basically the head cop who is played by Sam Rockwell. Sam Rockwell's phenomenal in this movie.
Okay.
I've always been a Sam Rockwell
I am
fan.
too.
I
I'm
think
such
he's
a Sam Rockwell fan.
Yeah.
And he plays a familiar character that he's very good at playing, so he's
Yep.
wonderful in it. But his character, who's like this racist, kind of misogynist police officer,
Okay.
and Frances McDormand's character like pair up to go like serve their own form of justice
Okay.
to the
At the
rapist
end.
and murderer at the end.
Wait, do they like go after this person?
Yeah,
Do they cut
road
off his
trip it.
dick?
They like we don't see. They
Okay.
like basically grab hands and drive off the cliff together, and like that's the end.
Wait,
of the
they don't
movie.
literally drive off a
No,
cliff though.
no,
Okay,
but, like,
they
that's
just
the
they
sense
just
that
they
you
just
get at the end
they
of
just
it.
So
pull
it's
up,
like-
they just pull up to a Sonic and get a cheeseburger, and that's the end of the movie.
And
Okay,
it's a real
So-
bummer.
So it's like the end of Good Will Hunting, only instead of love, it's like death.
I've never seen Good Will Hunting,
Oh
so I don't
my
know.
god.
No.
Oh, my
well,
God.
maybe you don't need to
Oh.
now.
But
Oh, for Robin
too late
Williams
now.
alone.
Actually,
you
no.
don't
Robin
see
Williams
it.
And
is
Matt Damon.
incredible.
I do love Matt Damon. I'm sorry, everyone who hates Matt Damon. I love
don't
Matt
hate
Damon.
Matt Damon. I like Matt Damon.
I think Matt Damon just needs to button it up some.
Yeah, maybe he needs to shut his fucking mouth a little.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about that.
He's
It's
like,
just to stop.
Yeah, he got himself into kind of yeah.
attacking.
But you should watch it. Robin Williams in that movie is magical.
Yes.
He really is.
And
He will make you cry.
The
It
plot
has to be better than
was
Three Billboards because
unique
that was
at the
a terrible movie.
time. So
That's
keep
true.
that in mind.
It was.
And I do just want to be clear, like Three Billboards was not an awful movie. It was still
Yeah.
very well done.
It just was
doesn't deserve an
disappointing,
Oscar.
and you were it's getting too many awards.
I think Ingrid Goes West, The Big Sick,
Ingrid Goes West.
The
Get
Big
Out.
Sick
I think
was
all of those
great.
were
I
haven't
better
seen it
movies.
yet. I
It's good. I love The Big Sick. It
The
was
Big
great.
Sick was phenomenal. Ingrid Goes West was phenomenal.
Get Out.
Get Out
Oh,
was
Get
phenomenal.
Out.
And I do think all of those deserved awards and nominations above
Lady
Three
Bird.
Billboards. Lady Bird was great.
I need
But
to see that
I
too.
mean, based on like films that weren't nominated that I saw that I really enjoyed that I think should have qualified for that, those were
Yeah.
three that I've seen and I was like they were better than Three Billboards.
Is Margot Robbie nominated for an Oscar?
Yeah,
I think
She
so,
is.
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And so I knew Allison Janney was, but I wasn't sure about Margot Robbie.
Yeah.
I don't think that Margot
were
Robbie
any
will
of them,
get it.
No.
Were
I
any
don't
of
think
the
she
men
will either.
nominated? Because I mean, they were really
think Frances
good. Like
McDormand will get it.
Yeah.
the guy who played Jeff
Jeff
was
was really
so
good.
fucking good. Can we take a minute to talk about his facial hair?
Oh yes.
Let's talk about it. I mean, first of all,
Which part? Which one? The
Okay.
mustache or the
Mustache.
goatee?
was it a goatee? I
was a
like
goatee.
was
I think it
it
was just a chin beard.
Yeah, I
that's-
beard?
Is that
I
a
agree.
goatee?
It's a
Like
chin
what
beard.
is it? Just
no,
a
goatee goes up along
That's
the like
true.
a
Okay.
chin beard
Okay.
is just the
like,
chin.
but
Yeah.
he can
hair.
grow the mustache. So why didn't he
Why
do
wouldn't
both?
you?
It was the 90s, was it
No,
not?
I don't know.
No.
No, the interview was
Okay.
taking place
Here's
in
the thing.
2000s.
This
maybe?
film was based on interviews that the writer did with Tonya and Jeff.
Okay. Well, Tonya looked quite young, so I assumed this was not recent.
I think it was based on the interviews he did with them before he wrote the film,
Okay.
which were like the year before.
Okay. Because she seems like Max in her 30s.
I know.
So I was
So-
like
But
assuming
she
that
has
took place.
She does have a-
7-year-old
she has a
child,
son,
so
yeah.
there's no way she could be too old.
Okay, well, that's true. Well, no. Okay, so she was 23 in the 90s, right?
She was
23
23
and
when-
94.
and
So she
94.
was born in 71. So that would
Okay,
make
so
her
she's a
40
little older
something.
than me. Okay, all right. But she still looked pretty young in those interviews. Okay. This is exciting. Let's get to one of the things on your list.
One of the things that I wanted to talk about was just like how she was treated just
Yeah.
because she was poor. And like
Yeah, I think that's a big part of the film.
it's still an issue. And I think that's one of the things that it brought up for me was just like America's war on the poor. Like this was just like a stark example of it, of like this woman trying to sew her costume. She's the best in the world, trying to make it through.
Yeah.
And I still feel like that's an issue.
And they're like, you need to wear a fur coat.
Like, right. But I mean, like there are still people who are like, are poor and trying to go to school and have the best test scores, but they can't get a scholarship to go to school. So they can't afford to go, and they end up janitors, like,
and there's this whole perception of like, if only you try harder. And it's like, but who has the money to pay for all this stuff?
Yeah.
Right.
To keep you up and up with everybody else who just
even if
has
I try
the resources.
hard, I can't pay to go to school. I like can't afford to be in debt like
I
that.
can't pay for the special costumes. I can't pay for someone to do my makeup. I can't afford, like I have to have a job. I can't be at the rink 8 hours a day.
Exactly. Well, her especially, she was pulled out of school at 15 in order to do this. And then like at the end of the film, she's sort of left in this position where she can't even do the one thing that she spent 23 years of her life doing.
Yeah.
It's the only skill she had. And she even says it when she's a waitress. She was like, and to top it off, I'm unskilled.
Yeah.
And she's unskilled. She doesn't even have a high school diploma. She can't get a job. And
well, that's a moment that you really feel sorry for her too. Is that when
what
she's
else
in
is
the
she gonna
courtroom and she's, she's
processing
getting her sentence,
the gravity of what's going on.
Just especially for something that like we all have our hobbies and stuff like that, but like imagine being the thing that you love more than anything in the world being stripped from you.
Yeah.
And having an 8th grade education when it happens.
Yeah.
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 Like you can't even do algebra. Like
Exactly.
how are you going to get a job somewhere?
Exactly.
To be fair, I can't do algebra.
I can't
And
either.
I have
I mean, that's
master's
a
degree.
terrible
I'm just
example.
saying.
X and Y and Z.
You haven't read
There's letters
a bunch
there.
of boring Shakespeare books. How are you going to get a
like,
job?
I did do that.
But it,
surprisingly, it doesn't help me get work.
But it is like she was representing the USA. Like this was who was going to be possibly our Olympic champion. And,
when the guy in the car tells her that, and he's like, "Listen, like we
judge on
you're
appearance.
representing America, and we can't have you representing us."
So they didn't include it as explicitly in the film, but an actual U.S. Figure Skating Association rep told her to get back together with Jeff to make it have the appearance of a stable family. You need to be married. You need to get back together with Jeff, so you can improve your scores.
Oh boy,
That's
oof.
Oh Lord, that's just awful.
So did those guys go to jail? Did any of those guys? No.
No.
Okay.
No.
Because it seems like maybe they were a little complicit in what happened.
Maybe a little.
Just a touch.
Just a touch
I
complicit.
mean,
Please get back together with your abusive husband. Seems like a good
oh my
idea.
God.
Seems a little off the rails.
It's kind of like, and I don't want to veer off from the movie, but I'm just going to say this real fast. Like the, I don't know if y'all know, but Peter Martins, who is the artistic director of the ballet in New York, he recently got fired for sexual abuse and mistreatment of dancers.
A lot of people, high profile people in theater, that's happening
Absolutely.
too. Yeah.
And so, but it was said that people on the board knew about it for years and let it happen because he brought in so much money and because, and don't get me wrong, he is a horrible person, but like, he is an extremely talented man. Like his choreography is unbelievable and everything. So, I mean, it was just, it was one of those things that, like, it surprised me, but yet it didn't surprise me at the same time. Like I was like, I'm sure he is.
The means to the end.
Exactly. So it's kind of like by one of those judges saying to her, "Get back with Jeff," or even the judge in the movie that says it to her. It's like, I have a hard time nowadays. I have a hard time thinking that a lot of that will go on, just given what has happened recently in the past year.
I mean, I hope that at least changes some things.
I would hope to God,
yeah.
because I feel like nowadays we have so many more venues and outlets to speak our minds. We have so many ways to get our words out there, and she didn't have that. She didn't have social media back then. She only
I would love to see Tonya Harding's Instagram in the 90s.
Oh, I know. I would love to see what she would do.
I would kill.
It'd be a bunch of cars that she fixed up.
Yeah.
I would kill.
You know, like, I mean, but she didn't have that platform.
So many selfies.
You know,
Right.
all she had was the way that she was going to be portrayed in the news.
She didn't have any control over her own image.
Exactly. Yeah. And it is, when you're representing the U.S. like that in something so big, I mean, that is a huge thing to be, for you to be a basically white trash, not pretty costumes, not as pretty as the other girls.
I mean, I thought they were pretty.
I mean, I couldn't do what she did with
No.
those
Yeah, I
costumes.
couldn't
Like,
sew that.
I've tried to
I
sew
couldn't sew
tulle.
that.
It is not easy.
No.
No.
I thought the couple of them looked pretty good.
I did
was
too.
like, damn, girl.
Yeah.
And I thought she looked really good in it too. Like, I mean,
Strong legs. I don't know. That's creepy. That I said that, but she
No,
does.
she
I
did.
like that you
She
said
was-
it so
You were like,
creepily
strong
too.
legs, strong
But
legs.
that's
Strong-
something to be
strong
said for
legs.
her too, is that she was physically extremely strong.
She was such a strong athlete.
She really was. And I don't think that she's a weak person either.
No.
I don't. But I think that, I mean, she has her
the
weaknesses.
character certainly isn't not given the things that she's been through.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. But I mean, you talk about her physical strength. Damn, girl. Like she, but even so, when you saw her out on the ice, as someone who took ballet her entire life, like you see certain things. I mean, she really was she was lacking the grace side of it.
Yeah.
She really was.
Yeah.
I mean, I think if she took more ballet, I think that she probably could have gotten there. But at the same time, like, I think there is something that certain girls have in that area, and then there's certain things
Do
that
they
don't have.
require the same type of like style as that from the male figure skaters?
I think
So
so.
they have to be like like ballet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So
For
would
sure.
she have done better in hockey then? Maybe.
Maybe.
Or speed skating, maybe.
Speed skating.
Yeah.
She may have. No, not to say.
Like it's just like I wonder if like we could open up our minds to different definitions of what femininity is. You know,
I thought she was very feminine out there. It's
Yeah.
just that when you put her next to the Kerrigans of the world,
yeah.
there was a big difference.
But is
There
there
was a big
something
difference.
in she's like I can do all the things, I can do these things,
Right.
and
Yeah.
the style is just different. It's like I'm not dancing to the classical music, I'm
Dancing to rock.
to ZZ Top,
Right.
And
because that's
but
my
I think
image.
that's a big part of it too. Is like she wanted to do this thing, and nothing was going to stop her from doing it.
Right.
And like I think that's what you have to do in order to find someone who challenges those sort of societal norms. Is someone who is outside of your comfort zone, nailing the shit that.
I mean,
you're
what if
supposed
she
to do.
had won the Olympics? Would there be other skaters who
Probably.
had like kind of
Well,
a different style?
hey,
I don't know.
Somebody this year for the Olympic trials tried out not dancing, skating to Turn Down for What from Lil Wayne. And it's really
Ooh, I
great.
bet
If
that
you
was
watch it, he didn't
interesting.
make the team,
Oh.
but it was really great. And like I thought it was really well done. And I think that there are people out there who are doing those things and pushing the limits.
and then afterward,
still,
they were
but-
like, "If you get back with Jeff."
yeah.
I think
afterwards,
they have
yeah,
certain
exactly.
restrictions though in the Olympics that, like, I think, and I'm not sure
This
exactly
year is
what
the
they-
first year that they allowed words.
Okay,
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
that was my
Words?
question.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the song?
they didn't allow.
They didn't allow lyrics
words in
before.
songs.
It was all classical music that you needed to perform to in the Olympics.
Wait,
Yeah.
This is the first year.
does this mean that somebody can skate to Freebird now?
Yes.
Okay, I'm in.
And a lot of, I
in.
think the American team this year skated to Elephant Love Song medley.
Yep.
And
From Moulin Rouge.
It sounded so creepy over the loudspeakers that like it was kind of a traumatizing experience for me, even though they skated very beautifully.
Yeah.
It
Wow, I'd
was
love to hear more about
rather
that.
traumatizing. to
Yeah,
watch.
and that was one of the things she was criticized for was the
Music choice.
music
choice.
that she picked.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I definitely think that it's very much a cookie cutter. You enter into a cookie cutter sport, but at the same time, I mean, you think about other sports.
But can we
that are
break
out
the
there.
cookie cutter? Like, is that something we can do just because we've done it? I don't know. I'm just saying, like, I mean, I have to wonder, like, if she had won, would that have changed anything, or would she have just been a fluke?
It's an interesting question because it may have changed things. It probably would have, because people would have sponsored her. She would have been on, the face. She would have been the face of Wheaties or whatever was big at the
whatever
time.
was big at the time, exactly.
Can you imagine? It's like her with a crowbar. No, I'm just kidding. Wheaties.
You know, like it probably
demolish the
Blood all over her
competition.
face. Yeah.
I mean, but at the same time, I think that they probably, it would have been interesting if the incident didn't happen and she skated her heart out, and Nancy Kerrigan skated her heart out, how it would have been scored.
Who would have won?
Yeah.
I guarantee you, Nancy Kerrigan would have gotten the gold medal.
Me too. Yep, I guarantee.
She would
You
have.
think?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So do you think the poo face was because she was thinking to herself, if I hadn't had busted my knee, I would have gotten the gold.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which I'm still like amazed that she was able to skate.
That's
at
kind of insane.
Silver level.
Yeah, that's
Like-
kind of insane.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
When she had I mean, it's amazing that they didn't break her knees with that too.
I know.
'Cause
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
sure she got hit pretty darn hard.
I didn't look this up, but I could have sworn that she got hit in both knees.
No,
I
it was
don't
just
know.
one, I believe.
Did Sean? Is he still alive? Because it seemed like all his interviews were from an old 1998 interview. Because it said
no,
98
he didn't.
wouldn't be interviewed for the film.
He didn't.
and neither would the
interview.
mom.
And the mom,
Okay.
he completely based the mom off of accounts from Tonya and that old clip that they
That old
showed
clip.
of her.
Just the clip.
Yeah.
And then he made a whole. Okay. Let's get back into this movie. Sarah, do you have something from your list that we haven't talked about that you'd like to tackle? Let's go to your list.
Yeah.
List time.
Hold on.
What's on your list?
Okay, here's one.
Okay.
So I was thinking about it, and all of the films we've watched before, there's something about them that I'm like, that's sexist, or that's misogynistic, or that's like I don't like that, or they could have. This feels like it was written by a man, or this feels like it was directed by a man, or this feels like I don't feel that way about this film. Like I feel like it could have been written and directed by a woman just as much. Like it wasn't hateful towards women. It was more like critical of the men, if anything.
I think it was definitely critical of the mother
The
and
mother,
the
yes.
father. Like we haven't talked too much about Tanya's father,
That's a good
but
point,
he
actually.
disappears.
Yeah.
Like he's definitely, and I feel like we've seen that character in other films before. The dad who's like there and he's like kind of ineffectual, but he's like sweet and loving, and then just like he leaves.
Just ditches her.
her.
He
Yep.
really did.
Yeah,
I mean, that
he
was.
did.
And real quick shout out to the little girl
Yeah.
that plays
Yeah.
young
Great.
Tanya.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
So heartbreaking.
I don't know if y'all have seen her in the movie Gifted.
No.
I think her name is McKenna or Mackenzie something. I forget her last name, but go watch it. She is phenomenal in it. Like it is a great movie. She plays this like genius kid and everything like that. But the same kind of energy she brought to I, Tanya as well, and just the scene where the father leaves. Oh God, your heart just goes out to that poor little thing.
Yeah.
And
So I guess my question would be, did any of you have any issues with how women were portrayed, or feeling any like icky feeling about that? I don't know.
I don't think I did. Like there wasn't any attempt to like overly sexualize any of the women in the skating uniforms.
Yeah. And even in the strip club, there were no shots of the strippers. They
it
were
was-
just in the background
it
as
was
part
like-
of the ambiance.
It was about as sad as actually going to a strip
Yeah.
club where you're just having a conversation with somebody and there's a woman with very floppy breasts standing nearby.
Right.
Yeah, so like I noticed that because in every TV show and movie, when they go to a strip club, the first thing they do show gratuitous shots of
And this was not that
movie.
movie. Yeah, no, it was. She was just there, and it was like for a minute I was like, "Are they at a? This is a strip club. Okay, they're having the lunch special,
Which was
clearly.
very surprised. Like I didn't feel anything like that.
No, I don't think that I was having those feelings.
No.
This time around. I think the movie did a good job of making was Tanya's story, and they were sticking with her, and they were not sexualizing her in any particular way, or objectifying her. I didn't feel like. I think there was a little bit of that in on the date, but I think that was meant to be like them looking at each other through the eyes of people that are falling in love. So that all I think made sense. And again, it wasn't gratuitous. It was just like this look of, like these people seeing each other as beautiful as you do when you first.
And even
fall
the
in
part where like her half brother like molests her, like that was completely unsexy. It was just like gross.
Oh
and, like,
God, that was so
inappropriate.
upsetting.
Yeah, so like stuff like that. Like in movies, sometimes they will like make it like sexy and
No,
stuff.
they'll take it to
and
the extreme.
Yeah.
Absolutely. They take it to the disturbing extreme.
Yeah.
But she fought back in that one too.
I loved how I just love how many times she nailed someone in the balls.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
she didn't back down. Like
Yeah.
she was not to be fucked with.
I also just think it was nice to have this like strong woman to root for.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could root for Tonya Harding just because like I watched her get hit in the face so many times that I was like, when she kicked somebody in the balls, I was just like, fuck yeah.
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 She was the
Yeah.
underdog. She was the underdog, you know, and the only thing that I noticed, I don't know if y'all noticed this too, is the costumes and like the coverage of their buttocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had like
felt like they were almost
permanent
thongs.
wedgies. Permanent
Yes.
wedgies.
No, I couldn't do it, you guys. I
No,
couldn't.
no.
I don't feel
just,
like they're
I
like
need
that
it
today,
full.
or maybe I just have never really noticed it. But
I didn't
did
even notice
that.
that.
I think
I
they-
wasn't even looking for
Oh,
that.
I fully noticed.
think
I look
they
at
are-
ass all the time now.
It was making my butt very uncomfortable.
I think they
Yeah.
are still like that, but like I'm a full coverage gal.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
You know,
Full
I
coverage
wanna-
and underwear like up to my chest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. I just,
So
like,
that would not work for me. No.
I did notice that though. I
Would
was
be-
like,
I want a full coverage cheek.
I would have full body Spanx on the ice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, what's uncomfortable for me is when there's pair figure skating and the man basically like has to like grab her in the crotch every time
Yeah.
he lifts.
yeah.
Actually, that was a
Ooh.
bit of a controversy this year, was that the Canadian figure skating team, they had this beautiful routine, but one of their jumps was she briefly rested her legs on his shoulders, but was basically straddling his face. And then he dropped
so it was
her
a good
down.
old a good old mustache ride.
It was. And
They call that move in figure skating the
it,
mustache
it
ride.
was super brief. Like it maybe lasted 2 seconds before she was like down on the ice again. But like everyone was like, "Is it too sexy for the Olympics?"
No, seriously, we
And, like,
watched.
Is it
It
sexy
is.
at all?
They got rid of it.
Wow.
They took that move out. They took that
Wow.
jump out of their routine for the Olympics.
Wow.
And they
See-
claim it was because it didn't look aesthetically pleasing. And I
I
was like,
feel like
everybody in this world
I-
knows it's aesthetically pleasing. That's why millions of people watch it every night
Absolutely.
before they go to sleep.
on,
Who
on
does
Tumblr.
not?
No, but
on
when-
on
when-
Tumblr,
when we-
Pornhub, wherever you get your porn.
I'm just from now on. I just want crotch
Tumblr
hold
porn
figure
is the
skating is my new tag on Pornhub.
No,
Yeah.
you should.
Seriously, like when we
Hashtag
watched
crotch hold figure skating.
when
Crotch hold figure skating.
the night before last when we watched the pairs, it really was like all of the pairs. Like at some point, multiple times when they did lifts, the guy would be like,
Yeah.
So
Well,
like,
that's how you
like-
have to hold. 'Cause
Yeah.
you have to get like.
Yeah.
above a
I'm sure that
certain
happens in
muscle,
ballet,
Yeah,
too.
exactly. Like you. I mean, I remember the first time I started doing partner work, I couldn't stop giggling because he would grab my sides and I would.
so are there any figure skating holds where like a lady just gets just a whole handful of balls?
no, because she doesn't have to
she doesn't
hold.
have to hold
hold
But
him.
what if? But what?
What about a face full of balls?
She might get a face full of balls.
Yeah,
if she doesn't
yeah.
fall right.
Yeah. I would say there's probably something like that.
Hazards,
Yeah.
occupational hazards.
Yeah, I would
Occupational
def-
hazards. Face
I'm
full
just
of
saying.
balls.
When are the next Olympics?
2022.
So 2022, the ball hold. I feel like we need to try.
Okay.
It's just throw it in
ball
there.
Take that into consideration.
Throw it in
Olympic
there
committee.
because they're listening.
ball hold.
Yeah, Olympic committee, especially the Russian judge.
Yeah, you guys. I'm talking to you, Russia. All right. Okay, I'm going to grab something from my list here. Let's see. I really want to talk about this whole scene where she's wearing the purple outfit, because there's a whole series of events that occurs. She's got it's the big skate that she does where she's like playing the ZZ Top song. She's got the
Yeah.
purple outfit on.
Purple. Oh my God! Remind me. I can't see it.
With the purple lipstick, right?
It's middle of the movie.
Oh, okay.
So this is I think right before she fires the coach,
Okay.
and her mom but she's left the house at this point. So her mom's sitting in the audience, and she goes out there ready to nail it.
Mm-hmm.
And she's playing the ZZ Top song, and she's like enjoying herself and loving it, and she just feels like she gives it her all. The judges give her scores that she doesn't think are fair, and then a whole series of events happen. So, first of all, I respect the music choice.
Yeah.
I liked the sort of like,
I want the whole soundtrack to this.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, oh God, we haven't even discussed the soundtrack, but it was great.
Incredible.
Yeah.
It was. It definitely was, and it wasn't like they picked music from the '90s. They were actually like they picked stuff that felt more like the era we were in, which was like kind of like late '70s, early '80s, like it
was what you grew
rock.
up listening to that you really loved and
classic,
you
like classic rock shit. You know, like that. So, but yeah, so she goes out there. She doesn't get the performance that she is wanting, and then she fires the coach.
Who actually seemed to be the one person that kind of cared about her.
Yeah. That was the healthiest relationship she had in this movie.
Yeah.
I really loved the scene where after they get back together to work for the second Olympics, where she's like running through the woods with like carrying, what was it, like a bag of dog food?
Bag of dog food.
And then like water bottles.
She actually did this.
Right. And she kept
this.
breaking the fourth wall. And she's like, she did this and this. I don't know. Anytime a movie does say that to me, then I'm like, I don't know if I can trust you.
Yeah. About like, if you don't say this, does that mean it didn't happen? Like,
right.
Does that mean everything else is a lie?
Yeah.
But then they, like they shows the video at the end almost to be like, yeah, but see, we really were telling you the truth.
Right.
So she fires the coach. Her mom tells her that she skated like a graceless bull dyke.
Yeah.
And then this is actually, you know what? This is not this is the night she moves out of her mom's house. This is the last night because this is the night where they have the argument
and the knife goes in her
and she throws a knife at her. That was an intense scene.
Scene. Like,
because she just kind of stares at it for a second.
Well, and she's been throwing things at her all night and like purposefully missing, like it was pretty obvious that she was throwing things near her,
right.
And was never like trying to harm her, just to scare her. And then she just throws this knife at her. And I was like,
and you can see that she's as surprised.
Yeah. That was not
but
what
she was not going to apologize.
Yeah. No. For a second I was like, when she took it out and walked towards her mom, I was like, oh my God, is she going to stab her?
I totally thought that.
I was like, girl, you need a tetanus shot. That was my first thought, was get to the ER and get a tetanus shot. Because I guarantee you that is a house where the knives are a touch rusty.
Probably.
Just a tad. Don't think they're disinfecting it too much.
I'm here to rain on your parade. That didn't happen.
Yeah, she probably's not into the tetanus shots too much.
No, I'm saying the knife throwing didn't.
Really?
Didn't
Tell
happen.
us more.
No, it's just that Tonya said that didn't happen.
So they just invented that.
They just invented that.
So she just kind of moved out of the house eventually.
Yeah.
Because they made that the moment.
She didn't fire her coach. It was like a mutual, like, slowly, like, fizzling out. And the person who replaced her was her original coach's assistant coach.
Gotcha.
Okay, so there was some consistency there.
Yeah.
Well, I think we were a little confused at first. We were like, it's another blonde lady. Is that the same?
Yeah.
Did they switch actresses halfway through the movie?
A blonde lady?
It was a blonde lady. It was a blonde lady with short hair.
Yeah.
Short hair. But their faces looked so similar that I was like, did she just cut her hair? Like,
yeah. Sarah turned to me and she was like, is that the same? And I was like, no, she fired the coach.
I was just like, it looks like she just cut her hair. I mean, like...
I'm so excited! I'm so scared!
Welcome to Nervous Breakdowns. This is the part of the show where we read horrible casting breakdowns. So for those of you who are not in the industry, a casting breakdown is a notice that goes out when a film or TV project or even a theater project is looking for actors. It provides descriptions of the parts and the types they are looking for, and we read the very, very worst.
Yes, we do.
Casting
Dress
breakdowns
size,
we can
skin
find.
color, hair type, that kind of thing.
And also some other shit.
Yeah.
Also very superficial shit.
So I've got one here. We're not going to read the name. So Sarah, would you like to read this one? We're not going to say the name of the movie, but I do want to read the description. Okay. We're not going to out the production company or anything like that, but you know who you are.
This film is a new age horror thriller about two young women, Rose and Callie, who find themselves at the wrong place, a deserted island with the wrong guy, Captain Wolf. The girls just robbed their boss of bukus of cash. By the way, they misspelled that. It's actually a French word, and they spelled it BOOKOOS. Of cash. They hire Wolf as the getaway driver, destined to take them an island airstrip where the girls will catch their flight overseas.
Seems like a complicated description. Like
Wolf
maybe we don't need all this information.
Doesn't take them to the airstrip, They get stuck on Wolf Island.
Holy shit.
Open roles.
So far, it seems like normal. Nothing weird about this.
Callie, lead, female, 18 to 30 years. Callie is a fragile beauty, like a perfectly crafted vase that could crash into pieces at the slightest drop. Beautifully sexy and alluring, Callie is a centerfold on an island where she's seen as a fresh lobster tail ready to eat with butter.
All of that is disgusting.
Super gross. And also, I don't think any of that is playable. I'm not sure if I went into I don't know if I went into a taping.
A broken vase.
I'm like, okay,
I need to be a lobster tail.
I need to play lobster tail and vase. That's like really. Also, those two things don't really go together. Like,
no, not really.
So am I like?
Am I the king of the sea, a crustacean with super?
Am I in the shell still, or has somebody taken a fork and scooped me out yet?
Yeah.
Ooh. Okay, next character.
Good question.
It's like these are the things I think about as an actor.
Rose. Lead, female, 18 to 40 years.
Okay. They're not
Tough
casting
as
a 40-year-old.
nails.
There's no way.
Rose is a man's woman, sexy in the feminine sort of way, but shielded by a hardcore layer of a girl raised with all boys.
Oh, God.
Not only is she strong, but she's also smart.
Strong and smart.
Oh.
I also don't understand sexy in the feminine sort of way. It's like
a man's woman.
Sexy in a lobstery kind of way. I guess like he just really didn't want it. He like, I don't want to confuse her with the other girl who's sexy in a lobstery kind of way.
Yeah, she's
this woman is sexy in a human woman kind of way.
Oh, different motivation.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So not a masculine way.
Yeah.
A feminine way.
So ladies,
in a feminine way, or the lobster
if you're
tail type
sexy
way.
in a feminine way, if I were you, if you really wanted this part, I would walk in there just fucking dressed like a lobster.
Yes.
Like put on a lobster cartoon
and be like,
butter.
you said lobster tail.
And just
you
pour
said it.
Melted butter all over yourself.
Yes.
I mean, you're guaranteed to get the part for sure.
Thanks for joining us for today's episode of the Feminine Mistake Podcast. Keep up to date with all the amazing things our special guest this month, Jackie Costello, is up to by following her on Instagram at JMCostello14. So that's at JMCOSTELLO and the number 14. If you live in the Atlanta area, don't miss out on the next Critical Crop Top Live sketch show coming up on May 11th, 13th, 18th, and 20th at the Highland Inn Ballroom. More info to come, and tickets, of course, will be on sale at our website, criticalcroptop.com/tickets. Of course, no matter where you are, you can always check out our video content, including our latest web show, Vera's Workplace Sensitivity Training Series, on our website, criticalcroptop.com/videos. And we're excited to share that all of our content is available on the content platform Thea. It's an awesome site that showcases Atlanta artists and content creators, and you can watch it all using the Thea mobile app for your phone. That's Thea, THEA. Tweet at us. Tell us what you thought of the film I, Tonya. You can find us on Instagram and Facebook at Feminine Mistake Pod and on Twitter at FemMistakePod. Join us next week as we wrap up our discussion of the film I, Tonya with special guest Jackie Costello. And if you've got a nervous breakdown that you would like us to read on the show, you can send that or any other correspondence to femininemistakepodcast@gmail.com.
I'm Nicole Finari.
And I'm Stacey Moore.
And we're the hosts of Movies That Matter, the podcast about recent films going above and beyond the call of box office returns to boldly explore a social issue affecting people's lives.
Nothing's off limits. From art house films to action blockbusters to animated kids movies, every film has something to say, whether we like it or not.
Check out Movies That Matter on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts, because movies matter.
And so do you.